Hello all, this is an overview of the network project at my home. Wanted to put up a video to show others who may be interested in networking their house, as well as to gather suggestions and recommendations from those that are more knowledgeable about this. So this is my network. I'll run through what I have there so far. One of the goals for this network overall was to get as many of the devices that are stationary off of the Wi-Fi and directly connected through Ethernet. That way we would enjoy the benefit of faster speed for the stationary objects that are wired, and we would have faster Wi-Fi because there'd be less devices on our Wi-Fi. After a while, as you add on devices, you'd be surprised just how congested your Wi-Fi system can be. There's just so many, everything is just on Wi-Fi. There's TVs, there's devices, there's Roku's, there's the Amazon Alexas and stuff like that. So before you know it, you'll have a dozen or 2 dozen items that are connected to your Wi-Fi, and all that is slowing it down. So one of my goals was to get as many of the devices that are stationary that don't really need to be on Wi-Fi, get them connected through Ethernet, and that way therefore they're off of my Wi-Fi, and I'm very happy with the results. So I went with an enclosed cabinet because this is located down in the basement, and I figured it's probably going to get very dusty down here. I wanted to protect all the equipment that I will be storing inside my network, so I chose the enclosed cabinet. I took off the side panel so that you can see the other side panel comes off as well, so you have full access to the back of the unit and anything that you would need to go through. And the door here swings over. It has a lock. The door also comes off if you need to, and it comes with a fan. I haven't plugged it in because I don't have an available socket, but one day I will. I'm very happy with this cabinet. I bought it for about $100 on eBay. I'll try and put a link on it. I saw that they have open network racks for more than $100. So I felt that the $100 for an enclosed network rack with the locks and the glass was actually a pretty good deal. The first part of the project was running the Ethernet cable to all the rooms in the house. That was the hardest part of the project because running cable through existing construction can be very challenging. As you can see here, these are all the cables that are coming down into the basement. In the basement itself, I have it in the conduit here. And the reason being is that I'm going to be finishing up this basement, and I'm going to be painting that ceiling black. And so I wanted to hide the wires to blend in. So the conduits will be black itself, so you probably won't even notice the wires. If you're not going to finish your basement, or you can keep it open, I probably would have just gone with these J hangers here all across, and that would have been a lot easier than trying to pull the... On the side here, you'll see these nylon cords. They go in through the conduit, so these are pull cords. Basically, if you're going to run wire through these conduits, it's much easier to first run one of these nylon pull cords through, and they stay inside the conduit. So now if you need to pull more wires through, you just attach it to this pull cord, you go to the other end and you pull the wire through, and then once you got the wire through, you pull your Since I was running wire anyway to all the rooms, I decided I was going to also run RG6 cable lines to every room. And here I have a 8-way splitter and amplifier, and these are direct lines now to every room or every TV in the house. And I've noticed there is a noticeable improvement in cable TV since I've done this. So I imagine the existing wiring had been split, and there's probably splitters in the house that I don't even know about, and they're inferior. So these are now direct cable lines run directly to each room, no interruptions. And this is a marked improvement in the reception I get. I've also took the opportunity, since I was running lines, to work on the telephone wire system in my house. There were several outlets that were not working, so I took the opportunity to run some of these through Ethernet cable. Pretty easy to do. and converted over to. Very nice. So I get my telephone is through my modem, which I will go over in a minute. So up here I have a Linksys EA9500 router. The reason I had bought this originally is because it has 8 ports in the back, and that's really what got me started with this idea of networking the home. Here on the left you'll see I have my cable modem. This is actually new. I just received this. This is a replacement modem. The old one was on this shelf here very nicely, and it laid on its side, but it started giving me problems. So now I have, they gave me a new one, which is a new model, but this one, it specifically states that it must stand up. It can't lay on its side. So it's probably going to stay up there now. Maybe I'll try and figure out a way to incorporate it inside the cabinet or not later on. But here you can see that I have a 48 port patch panel for Cat6 cable. I went with 48 ports, so that way I don't have to worry about expanding later on. I have plenty of ports available. The price difference between a 48 and a 24 port wasn't that much, so I figured I'd get the patch panel, the 48 port now, and I won't have to worry about buying a patch panel again. Right below the patch panel you'll see that I have an 8 port switch. That's a D-Link. That's just to add on to the 8 ports that I have on the router, to get some of the more of the outlets that I have available working for now. It's a temporary solution. Right below that switch I have 2 2TB Lacy brand hard drives. They're sufficient for my storage needs at the moment. I'm able to stream movies and the music that I have stored on them through iTunes and through my Apple TVs. It doesn't seem to give me a problem. Seems to work out fine now. I'm sure that as time goes on and I load up these hard drives with more media, there will be a need for growth. At that point I'll probably look into an official NAS type system. I need to do more research before I start that. The next part of the project will be to purchase a switch. So you can see there I have an 8 port switch there, and I have another 8 ports on my router, but I'm looking into purchasing the Ubiquiti UniFi 24 port PoE switch. And the reason I'm going to go with the PoE switch is because I intend to run about a dozen cameras, IP cameras around the house. So I'm going to need PoE power to run those cameras. I also intend to purchase the Ubiquiti access points, which also run on PoE. So I'm looking at, I'm not sure if I need the 250 watt or the 500 watt. Maybe somebody will suggest which one I should go with. But my intention is to buy the 24 port in PoE, and then as I grow the system and I need more of the PoE switches, I will buy a regular Ubiquiti switch to run the lines to the room, and then I can take full advantage of the PoE switch from UniFi. On the bottom here I have another 2 terabyte hard drive. It basically backs up one of these drives here. On the bottom there you'll see that I have my power strip. I think one of my next purchases will be one of the Triplite power strips that you actually install onto the network rack. I think that would probably also help with cleaning up some of the wires in the back there. A lot of this stuff is just temporarily done, like these patch panels, these patch cords in the front, and the patch cords into this temporary switch. Those I hope I would clean up when I purchase my UniFi switch. So that is my network project so far. I would appreciate any comments anyone has, any suggestions. It's mainly the reason why I would like to put this up there, so I can get some feedback, some recommendations from people who know more than me. And if anybody has any questions on their project, feel free to comment there. I'd be glad to answer in any way that I can.